All right, local swell trackers, Monday, October 6th. Then let's take a look and do some hindcasting back to a week ago, Monday the 29th, with Typhoon Kamuri here that was registering a little bit on the buoys, but it was too far away. We didn't have enough fetch on that southwest flank to do much. But I'll tell you what, Japan and the Philippines and the whole region in between have been going off recently. This big fetch up here in the central Aleutians brought us some super clean, perfect surf to the North Shore. And thanks to these light winds, well, we've just been seeing the North Shore as fun as it gets. Off here, we've had another tropical storm. This one was Rachel. The next one I'm going to show you is Tropical Storm Simon. That's storm number 18 for the season. Pretty incredible. Starting up the animations, you can see Kamuri getting pulled into a long fetch off of here. That's why that North Shore has just been pumping for so long. We've been getting support from these systems that recurve, feed into the jet stream, and create ongoing fetches up there for a great kickoff to the fall season. This is Wednesday, October 1st. This is Typhoon Fanfone. I believe that's how you pronounce her. And we'll start up the animations and see that thing build into, again, a huge super typhoon and just bring in giant waves, 30-plus foot seas, but storm surf to the region. And there's another typhoon forming off of here. Here comes Simon off of Baja. Not going to bring us much more than just background east, 11-second east swell this Friday. Up here by Kamchatka, and we see a large gyra forming, and that brings us in right there, our biggest swell that we have seen all season. The first one that'll be a solid 10 feet. That's because Fanfone feeds into this gyra and creates a long-lasting event. You see things will finally quiet down a little bit, and then a week from today, it looks like some storminess forming out by the dateline, and models are predicting some swell from this source that's building, and that would be Friday the 17th, and that could be a 10-foot swell, but it's too early to claim. All right, so things are looking up for the country. How are things looking down under? Well, it's been really fun. Here's this surface level winds here, far off to the east of New Zealand of last Monday, and that's bringing up surf for today, Monday into Tuesday. We see some 1 to 2 occasional 3-footers. We see some 15-second forerunners. Starting in the animation, you can see that one's going to last all the way through Wednesday. We have a nice-sized Tasman sea swell filling in with seas up to 40 feet. We get cheese grated, though, by the South Pac Islands of Fiji and Samoa, and it's pretty deep in the Tas. It tries to fill her up. Take a look at that. And it does get out to the east side of New Zealand, and that should continue us in the fun zone. We expect waves from this source to be 20-second forerunners on Tuesday the 9th, filling in to 2 feet 15 seconds all the way through Saturday and bringing us up to 3 feet minimum. And these Tasman sea swells are usually, they have long lulls. Okay, starting in the animation, you can see one last potential spinner up here towards hugging the east coast of New Zealand. That could be building us up for Tuesday the 14th. So the bottom line is the South Shores are not going to sleep, and the North Shore is going to turn on big time. All right, let's take a look at the jet stream, 30,000 feet up, the large-scale wind patterns that enhance and steer the surface low pressures. There's a nice southeast tilt pointing towards Hawaii. We get that storm that's within that, bringing us up some waves. Again, Thursday is going to be 6 to 8 feet by the afternoon, and Friday afternoon we'll have some 10, maybe 12-footers at the top refracting reefs, clearing out some of that, a lot of that sand from pipeline. So let's keep a look at it. You can see it levels off. It drops a little bit and elongates from Japan all the way up to Canada, and that is definitely a sign of fall and even winter. It does seem to break up a little bit in 7 to 8 days, and we expect that, though, to turn around. Down under, the long range is not looking good at all, but right now we can see a meridional flow, and that is creating those south swells that I was talking about prior. It will quiet down as you can see more and more blues or high pressures taking over the region down there, which is pretty typical. We have been well above average for this time of year from these sources down under. Okay, the hand-drawn surface charts, there's that high pressure off here. Here's the ridge that's been hovering over the islands, turning off our trade winds. Again, a ridge of high pressure. Well, there's no pressure gradient in it, so that's why the winds calm down. That ridge is expected to lift Wednesday through Thursday, seeing a gradual return to trade winds and even up to fresh paces on Friday and Saturday. There's the big low, bringing us in our big waves, filling in on Thursday, peaking on Friday to possibly 10, 12 feet. There's the typhoon that will be absorbed into the big gyra that I was showing you prior. The intertropical convergence zone staying put. There's Simon starting to come up towards Baja, and it's very active anywhere you look for the Pacific Ocean. Before we move on to the weather, I almost forgot the South Pac Current Wave Watch 3 models shown up here in Storm Surf. There's that little fetch right here that'll be bringing us up a week from today, starting Monday the 13th. And it's a decent little captured fetch, a small compact one, and we're expecting pretty much 3 feet out of that. There's a big system that moves in under Tasmania, but it's very zonal and breaks up. We are not expecting any surf from this particular storm. Okay, let's get into a little bit of weather. The water vapor loops are showing features in the weather 20,000 feet up. We're in a little bit of an unstable air mass, light winds, a little bit more rain than usual, even to our south. The intertropical convergence zone is even being pulled up here, and the Big Island is feeling that. And then, of course, the big spinning low up here is that, as you can see, even in the upper regions, is moving right towards Hawaii, and we'll be seeing our first winter swell. Drilling down, we just have a prettier version of what I was just showing you, and getting a little bit closer, you can see there's quite a bit of cloud cover, especially for Maui and Oahu, and it's kind of hazy. Highs are going to be about 88 degrees, lows about 75. Things will cool down a little bit Friday, Saturday as the trade winds get back to fresh paces. And we'll finish off with these nice wind models here, showing the big low, showing the former typhoon, showing Simon off here, showing the nice fetch down by New Zealand, keeping all shores in gear. And that's your local swell trackers. We'll check you back here next week. Aloha.